Yeah, semi. A amplifies damage a lot. Well, we're gonna see a fight here. If they run, okay, this looks good for Unique. Really good for Unique.
Immediately the stun up over onto Clockwork. Bignum taking a decent amount of damage as they do have that Arctic Burn. So Ramsey's just running over here, and it is going to be Iceberg who's going to start off his lane very nicely, getting the first blood. And look at the body blocks too coming out from Roger. Not going to be able to land the stroke of fate. So it looks like Slayer is allowed to exist in that lane for now.
They got the scout off first, but Morphling was late to come to lane, and their other heroes are actually just not that good at fighting level 1. Tiny with Tree Throw, not unexpected, and yeah, Chilling Touch only does so much. So Navi runs right into the enemy team. They get a free first blood effectively. All their heroes are a lot stronger at level 1, and good for them. So yeah, Clock does do a little bit limited damage to answer your earlier question, but his it's not like super low, but it can be effective. But yeah, he's more of an initiator for sure, and if Winter Wyvern can save whoever they go on, then it can be really good. But if there's an Ice Blast, that's going to shut down a lot of what Cold Embrace wants to do, obviously, so there can be issues there.
Well, Iceberg has to be pretty happy. Grabs himself the rune, got himself first blood. Middle lane starting off pretty nice.
He's put all of his money into early stats, and he's only about 150 gold away from getting his bottle finished. So he's definitely going to need to use nukes a lot to get last hits. Morana's base damage here looks not good. 54 on average is not a good place to start for the Morana. So compared to Tiny's 66 with the Fairy Fire, yeah, it's going to be a slight struggle to get last hits, but at least he's got a nuke.
You can see also being able to plink away here at FN definitely comes in handy, because that is going to become a looming, or rather is a looming threat as we get further into the game.
And in the off lane, AA plus Tide, lots of good harass potential, basically should be able to offset this just fine. Tide can deal with the skeletons really well in lane. Anchor smashing them reduces a lot of the damage, and once he gets 1 or 2 points in Kraken Shell, he basically doesn't have to worry about what Wraith King offers. And that's basically the lane stabilization for Wraith King these days. Everybody gets Vampiric Spirit and Wraithfire Blast at the first 2 levels, so when they go for kills or pressure, they summon skeletons, then they throw the Wraithfire Blast out.
How likely are they? Oh, as I say this, they immediately jump over onto Slayer, the Stroke of Fate, and he's forced to use the Fairy Fire. Need a little bit more damage, and V-Tune is going to be able to provide it. So, about what you'd expect when you have a Grimstroke and a core with a stun in this top lane.
Yeah, just positioning errors basically there by AA. He got up a little bit too far. Maybe saw the courier. Not quite sure, but that's going to hurt a little bit.
I think he's got to be careful that he doesn't continuously, you know, get into this bad position, because they have the lockdown for him. And there's not anything that a Tide can do. A Tide can't really save you. Man, couriers are just dropping left and right. My goodness. Valentimo's courier went down. Bignum's courier.
Great solution with the Wyvern here. It's against Clock like this. You don't have to worry as much about battery salt or cogs. If he does catch you, you just fly out. So for a support that has the instant counter, that's one of the nicest solutions against Clockwork at many stages of the game.
Is true. The water rune, though, does get denied here by the Wyvern. Good rotation here from Roger. In the bottom lane, Ramses is being left alone. It is a little bit of a struggle, but does have that battle hunger. Could turn this around. Could get the kill over here on Bignum. Can he get there fast enough now? Palantimos will be able to keep him alive.
Very close, though. Palantimos got to be careful. If he gets lucky on 2 spins here, he can definitely get killed. But Ramsey's going to play safe, especially with Adaptive Strike back up, and Wyvern shifting back over, has a salve. That should keep Ramses full. He's about to pick up his Ring of Health as well, so things going great for Ramses. On the other side of the map, V-Tune, 15 last hits at the moment, so he's doing really good against Tide. But basically, oh my god, there's a 2k gold advantage. Holy crap.
Did you see how low FN is over in the mid lane? He just had to back off, refill the bottle. Marana almost got the kill. Iceberg is a killer here on this Marana.
Yeah, FN is pretty significantly behind right now of the mid lane, about 700 net worth. It's a lot right now, but good glyph. A little bit more harass on FN.
Yeah, he's gotta be careful.
I love watching players use unconventional heroes like this and make it a staple. I just think it's so fun. Didn't work out so well for OG yesterday, but but I do like to see it when teams feel confident to give it a shot. These Iceberg zones on a lane, this is so good. That rotation from Roger was absolutely crucial. Didn't give him the bottle refill. He has to go and get the bounty rune. That's still not enough with that glyph. Now fight bot top.
Yeah, they've got the slow over here. Go stick. Swimming away, giving them the taunt too. They need just a little bit more damage, and they just don't quite have it over here for Always Want to Fly. He's thinking about that Stroke of Fate. He was gonna try to throw it down, but Bignum and Ramses over in the corner having their own little private scuffle.
Gotta be a little careful on clock. He's gonna run out of regen here. But Ramses is doing fine. 500 gold till he gets Vanguard. Morphling still hits pretty hard. He's got really high base damage when he shifts over, so he should be able to cut through the damage block of the armor. But and Roger's gonna block another water rune for FN. FN and having a really tough time here.
I love this play. I love when that's something that I think Team Spirit used to do quite a bit of as well, where they secure the runes for their mid laner, or they just make sure that there's no extra regen available for the enemy mid laner as well. And especially now with all these water runes added, it's so important to secure those.
And as much as we talked about how good Tiny is as a mid hero, if you're delaying his levels and delaying his timings, it makes a really, really big difference, because that means he's going to get less kills. Always Want to Fly top lane, getting pressured though.
Yeah. Ghost Stick's just walking away, and it seems like Slayer is probably not long for this world, as he's gonna get cut down by V-Tune again.
I like a big crit there. That gives him his phase boots now, so yeah, two lanes being pretty convincingly won. The Wraith King doing excellent, and Mirana in the mid lane doing really good too, so.
These are some
nice,
nice
a bit iffy here.
Big stacks over here on the side of Na'Vi. And I have to say, whenever Ramses is having a good game and not getting too like bodied, it feels like Na'Vi just, they perform better. It feels like they're more comfortable. They've got more things on the board for them to work with. So
yeah, I agree with that. Ramses had some inconsistent games. He's going to fight him, though.
Yes, because he's got a Winter Wyvern here. He's going to do percentage-based damage, slow him down with that Splinter Blast. Roger will get a kill.
And they are about to use the strategy that was developed by the one and only Kyle Swindlemelons Friedman and Complexity, the Winter Wyvern Axe. I remember this game. I don't remember the date. I can't pull a full Kyle here or the tournament, but this was something they pulled out at one point, and it was insane. They just mega stacked Ancients. They used Cold Embrace to make Axe invulnerable, and he got dummy thick farm. And we're about to see that. He's got a Vanguard, and he's going to be able to go physical immune while spinning. It doesn't make sense, guys. Just go with it. So he'll be frozen in ice block, yet spinning his fists around. I don't know. It's confusing.
I've never heard you say dummy thick before.
Well, just wait to see the net worth numbers here in a second.
There it is, the Cold Embrace. Give us some spins here. Oh, we're not gonna get to watch spins. We're gonna watch V2 and get bullied out here in the top lane a little bit, because Bignum has, of course, made his own rotation. Okay, look at the net worth. He's just getting off of this. And then Iceberg grabbing himself. You know, he's gonna age the other bounty rune for a little bit. Come back when he needs that little bit more regen.
Frozen spins. There we go.
There we go.
All right, and that is the most farmed hero on the map, guys. Congrats to Ramses. He hasn't quite finished up the last two Ancients. They're a little bit of a pain in the butt to clean them up, but oh, he wanted to stack. Just kidding. Just farming a little bit more.
The efficiency. You love efficiency.
It's very good, yes.
It is indeed. In the top lane, though, again, this Ancient Apparition just cannot afford to be stepping forward like this at all. It's not even that forward, to be quite honest. The power of this lineup here with a Wraith King and the Grimstroke is just too strong for him to approach that creep wave at all. And look how close we're getting to the next item here for Ramses.
Yeah, and now Roger gets some experience in the lane. He's almost 5. Ramses is almost level 7 now. Bignum's like, oh, stacking.
All right. He's just gonna make a little jaunt over here, check out what they've got going on, run away.
I love too when it hits like the 7-minute mark and they pick up a bunch of neutral items instantly. That's a little bit extra advantage that you can have in your laning stage too, because he grabbed 3 neutral items there at the last moment. So instantly those get flown out. It's gonna make them a little bit more effective in lane. Iceberg's gonna get a Faded Brooch. He'll be really happy with that. Mirana does have some mana issues a little bit in the early game.
FN doesn't quite have enough here to take down this Wyvern. Bignum in position, so is Slayer. Arrow coming in hot here from Iceberg. He has to be careful. Does have an illusion rune, though. He's going to start chasing after Bignum instead. They got the Starfall. Needs just perhaps a bit more damage. They haven't. No, they don't. The Cog's pushing back Iceberg.
Should have gone for the courier. JK is still dead. He got it with the illusions. Oh my god, that was sick.
And now Ramses has the call. He's going to try to drag them away, perhaps. No, he's not going to be able to stay alive, though, during all of this, as Ghost Stick is allowed to have a little bit more space in the top lane and just continues to put pressure on his creeps. Not exactly the easiest kill for this duo to take down.
It's not, but on the bright side, V-Tune should be farming better. There is a lot of magic damage coming from Grimstroke mainly, so Tide still has to be a little careful, but they're not really. No one's going to really die here unless there's rotations, and there's been so much pressure in other places on the map that it still makes V-Tune's game pretty darn safe. Ramsey's going the Manta build, though, picked up his Blade of Alacrity. He likes it. He's going for it. They're far enough ahead. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all once he gets it at a decent time. The only problem is he's farming so well, it's going to take a while till he gets to 20 minutes, right?
How do you feel? Oh gosh, look, even all of these stacks coming out here. Gotta be careful that, of course, the Tide Hunter doesn't spot them out. But how do you feel about the fact that, you know, they're a little lacking in that initiation then, I guess, on the side of Na'Vi, if they're going to be going for that Manta Shard build?
I don't think it's that big of a deal because, I mean, they already have a big net worth advantage, right? So if they just play safe and don't get that much done on the map, then I don't think it's a big deal because they already have a net worth advantage, so it makes the ganks that their opponents put in them less dangerous because they have more levels and life to deal with it, basically. So I'm not super concerned. He'll get Blink eventually, obviously. He chooses here to get Yasha first because his speed is quick. So it's like, well, I might as well buy the Yasha before I get the Blink because it's not like I want to gank with a Winter Wyvern. Those kills are less likely to work. So I think it's fine. We've got Moonlight Shadow. Like, there's ways that they can do things.
You get a lot of stacking action, though, coming out from both the teams. FN, of course, getting a nice stack from his Ancient Apparition. But, you know, it's interesting watching. You know, we think of Ramses being the primary person to take stacks, but then you have, you know, the Grimstroke and the Mirana taking a stack off to the side as well.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about the Mirana mid. It really is very versatile in what it accomplishes. Like, your itemizations are all over the place. This game, he's going Maelstrom. I'm pretty sure he didn't buy that last time. But, like, that's what's so cool about Mirana. You can be a nuker. You can be utility, buy, like, a Yule's first. You can buy, like, Greaves-type items as a core here. He can be flexible, going Maelstrom just to be more right-click because they want other solutions to deal with Morphling.
Yeah, I think they did a Veil last time on Iceberg's Mirana. Because they had the Warlock as well, right? So, you know, you've got that Fatal Bonds and the amping of everything. So, like you said,
that was really
lots of
cool.
options. They do know that the Mirana's down here, though. They see that arrow getting tossed out towards Palantimos. Just wandering over here. It's going to give a couple clicks over to Bignum. A couple clicks onto the tower now, and...
It's tinking pretty good.
Iceberg just doesn't care. Okay, there it is. There's FN with the Blink. Oh, the follow-up, though, with the Winter's Curse. So they do get the kill on Iceberg. They'll be able to put a decent amount of damage over onto FN.
That was really nice of FN to throw Mirana all the way to heaven. That way, you know, she was there before she died, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, you know, he's just trying to help out.
Up into the air.
You don't even see her fall.
Yeah, you don't have to feel as bad that way. It's like telling a child a white lie about it or something. I don't know.
I don't know where you're going with that one. But we do have the Ice Blast online now, of course, for the Ancient Apparition. So you can see Unique, they want to make some plays here as Bignum reaches forward here, has that hook shot. The follow-up here from FN. I don't believe they need the Ice Blast, but, you know, they'll throw it out just for funsies.
You know, it's like telling your kid that Timmy the dog just ran away, that's all.
He's living on a farm now?
Yeah, exactly. Mirana's off living on a farm
Mirana's living on a farm now. I don't know. I don't think Farm Mirana feels too good, as neither does Always Want to Fly, because he is very dead here. So, Unique starting to, you know, really amp up that acceleration here now that Tiny has the Blink Dagger and we've got the Ice Blast online.
Yeah, he basically went for a Blink Rush. Usually pro players, when they're having okay Tiny games, they'll go Phase or Treads first, but he opted for Blink instantly. Absolutely pays off. He punishes the Mirana rotation bottom. That was a little bit lingered. That stayed a little bit too long. Now getting a support kill. This is what's going to change the game for sure. He just needs to move around and get a bunch of kills. Wraith King a little bit harder. And God, V-Tune is so farmed, actually. He's got Midas and 2,500 towards Relic at just about under 13 minutes in the game, and his levels are going to be higher than normal. He's having a great game, but yeah, they could gank him, but kill him twice, that one's going to be harder.
You know that it's a great game for a core when we don't mention him hardly at all during the laning phase. It just means that you've been allowed to move around the map, you've been able to farm, and that's exactly what V-Tune's been able to do. The same thing, though, on the flip side for this Tide Hunter, right? The Tide Hunter has basically been allowed to just kind of do his own thing, but definitely not going to be as accelerated as a Wraith King, who has, of course, the Skelly Men. He's got that Midas and is going to be having that Radiance. But Maelstrom now completed for Iceberg, and you can see they're making an invasion over here into the jungle.
Dire's top tower
Yeah, it was a good time for V2 to shift down. I mean, there's a reason he has insane amounts of MMR. Reads the map, realizes that his opponents are going to go take his safe lane tower. He does the opposite. It's going to make it harder for them to go pressure him while getting objectives done like they want to. But at this point, what's going to happen basically is they'll just sit Ramses in the dangerous lanes. He's still pretty darn tanky. He doesn't have much magic resistance. That's one thing that's really hurting him here. Because against like Tiny and AA ganks, especially with 3 points and Ice Vortex, Ramses is definitely burstable now, so he's got to be a bit careful as they try to defend this stage of the game and continue farming.
Got a bit of an invasion going on. Roger gonna fly right past Slayer here.
Like that, they got one ward in the jungle to help spot their opponents a little bit. That will be helpful, most likely. But yeah, once they make the Manta, things will get a lot easier. Because even though Ramses doesn't have a shard yet, he can definitely start cutting waves with Manta-style illusions. And when he starts doing that, it makes it harder for Unique to make fights. And this is one of the things that plagues like almost all players of Dota at like lower levels is like they don't understand why they can't find kills. It's because they don't push lanes, and thus it's hard to like get across the map and get kills. So if you just do the opposite, if you make it so your opponents can't get across the map with their creeps, it's just so much harder to find kills. So it'll really shut down this ganking playstyle if Ramses can effectively cut waves with the Manta later on. It'll just buy them time and give them better map control. It's a really good thing to do.
Smoke up over on the side of Unique as they're looking to get their hands on someone. Of course, FN, the blink, Bignum with the hook shot. Lots of ways to initiate and jump on people. As they drop a couple wards and they start creeping. They might be able to find Ramses again. That's a pretty difficult kill, but with the Ice Blast,
They can get him.
immediately the toss up into the air, the Ice Blast connects, and down will go Ramses. Iceberg does manage to land himself an arrow, but I don't think he wants to go on and deal with all that, especially not with Ghost Stick standing very nearby here.
Yeah, he eventually gets cleaned up. He's got no magic resistance on him. He's absolutely vulnerable to Tiny Burst. Tiny's burst damage goes from like, I don't know, a little bit over 1,200 to like massive areas if you're amplifying by another 25%. So, yeah, very killable. That camp is like the safest one, but the most dangerous one to jungle, but it's a generally a safe one. But usually people stand a little bit more to the right. Running up into the cliff or running up into the high ground like that was a little dangerous by Ramses. See if they get the tower out of it though. A possibility.
I mean, that is the goal. Not the greatest at being able to hit these buildings. And they do spot out Iceberg, who's popping that arcane rune. Gonna just clean up the creep wave here. Always want to fly, making his way over, throwing out a stroke of fate. But the tower does eventually fall. And Unique will walk away very pleased with this. Double damage right outside the Roche pit, and into the pit they go.
And they got Gush. All right, Roche is dead.
Yep.
This is gonna hurt Navi a little bit. They're popping the ulti. They're moving over, but
I don't think they can get there in time.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, DD on Morphling is busted. It's so good.
Casual arrow gonna get tossed in, lands over on the Tidehunter, and they secure themselves the Aegis on the side of Unique.
I think that was pretty likely to happen anyways. I mean, they hit their timing perfectly, right? They have Medallion in time. The Gush is always going to help out taking Roche. And Navi didn't really want to get on the map too much. They've been planning this from the get-go. And frankly, if the network was closer, ooh, Roger in trouble.
Ooh, Roger spotted out, tossed into the air, and he is indeed dead. They will try to take down FN, though, and they should be able to do it. He's very, very far forward from the rest of the team, so just a little bit of a chase. They have that Phantom on him, and it's going to be the Maelstrom proc that slays the Tiny. And the Radiance, though, completed for V2.
Radiance is up and Manta on Axe, so everything that looked promising about Unique has kind of just gone away in that last movement there. I mean, it was a great kill on the A, but Iceberg rotating like that, landing his arrow, huge play to buy them time. So now they're not going to feel afraid to fight, basically. Even if they get ravaged, they're still doing Radiance damage. As long as they can like counter-initiate a little bit, it would be huge. They still like really need a Glimmer or something. Potentially to protect against the Tiny combo, but it's pretty hard to react in time generally. Hey, did you see what Roger's building?
Yeah, I did. It's a Witchblade.
Yeah, this is normally it's a griefing in pubs when your supports build Witchblades on end heroes like this. It's generally not good, but he will have more armor. That's kind of cool. But past that, I'm a little mystified. I'm gonna have to think about this a bit more to truly gauge on whether it's good.
No, I'm sure he's going to give you the opportunity to see if it's good or not as well.
I mean, the nice thing is that, like, again, he doesn't have to worry about clockwork initiating because he can just fly over cogs. That part's solved. And I guess extra armor is good against, like, your Morphling, maybe Tide type heroes, but I would have thought he built something else.
They spot out Bignum. V2 running down. We'll open up the Wraith Fire Blast. Arrow not gonna quite connect over here as they do have the nice stun though, followed up with the Ravage. We'll be able to slow them down just a little bit. Ice Blast over onto the back line. They're gonna try to blow up Iceberg. Not gonna be able to quite manage to do it now. As you can see, Palantimos trying to chase on the back lines here. Turned himself into his own form of the Wraith King. But they don't have to worry about that Ravage anymore. Ramses is looking for some of these spins. They've got the taunt. The waveform coming through, though. Can V2 finish off this Tidehunter? Yes, he can. They'll turn their attention away, though. It looks like they're not chasing after Palantimos here, as V2's found himself someone else over on the back lines here. It is indeed Slayer. So there will be no Ancient Apparition allowed to participate in this fight any longer.
Yeah, really good fight. I mean, everything was basically changed when Murano was able to leap out of the Ice Blast. When that happens, that's most of Unique going in. They missed their burst opportunity. The Ravage was used. They didn't even burn Wraith King Ultima. Here's that fight once again. They also got to jump on Clockwork right away, so they didn't have to deal with him initiating and making the Ice Blast easy. That was a really big deal. Not the prettiest arrow we've ever seen, but I mean, Ixwell almost was good. Ravage basically just like offset the initiation, and because they weren't able to kill the Mirana right there, completely changes the fight because he gets his ulti off. He's able to do more right clicks, more Starstorm, stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure they'd still do fine even if Mirana died, considering, and a great Manta dodge there by Ramses, dodged the stun, came out of Morphling. But yeah, good fight from Na'Vi. And then Axe took the Ava toss combo, didn't do that much. Things looking great for Na'Vi after winning that fight.
All right, well, now with the Ravage down, I wouldn't be surprised to see Na'Vi try to make any more plays. Though we are getting closer towards that Axe Shard, so perhaps they'll wait a little bit longer here. There it is, bot on up, and
basically no worry for them right now. Like, they don't need to do much. Like, they're still out farming their opponents. They probably feel confident in their farming lineup here. I mean, they're going to buy Manta on Wraith King. That's a little bit surprising as well, but hey, getting out of some disables can be nice, and it's more split push. They like don't want to fight their opponents head on, basically. They just want to out-farm them, I guess. Keep the lanes pushed out. Yeah, a lot of that was the laning stage, but still, yeah, pushing their advantages is it's a really good thing to do.
I just feel like they've got some really nice item timings too. You've got the Shard online for Axe. You've now got the BKB online for Iceberg.
That one's big, yeah.
I mean, they don't have to do anything necessarily, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to make some of these plays out. Yeah, look at this, just pop from that Manta, throw in the creeps here.
Playing so carefully. Iceberg isn't even worried about pressure in the mid-tier 1. He could have forced it a little bit, but saving his BKB charge, doesn't want to do anything that's overly aggressive. 2 Observer Wards, no! Always want to fly, almost got a double D ward, it would have been sick. He does Stroke of Fate, saw both of them up there, and then one of them despawned. Bummer. He would hit like level 15 off of that or something.
It always feels good when you're a support and you get the double D ward.
Right, blink up next for Ramses. He's decided it's finally time to fight a little bit. We're farming the most dangerous areas right now because he's got BKB.
Double damage, and getting popped here by Iceberg. He doesn't need any help here, and that is a dead Slayer, and the Ice Blast got used during that.
That one looked pretty easy, all right. Murano, one of the few rangers to have a mobility skill, so finding an AA is easy.
Arctic Burn getting popped here by Roger. They even go for the Moonlight Shadow as well. They'll slow down Bignum. They use the dust, so they do have the vision. They're going a little bit deep here since they still had that middle tower up at the time, but now that the middle tower is down, this map is just feeling very, very open and wide for the side of Na'Vi, and it's feeling a little tight for the side of Unique.
It really is, yeah. They're giving Roger everything. Let him buy a Witchblade. He gets the Vambrace as a 4 position. That's usually like a core item, but
I am the carry now.
Good for him, yeah. I was pretty underwhelmed with that Witchblade damage right there, I'm not gonna lie. I was like expecting a whole lot more, but oh, I guess there's a hood on Bignum, that's why. Okay.
Shake my head. Flaming Roger's choices when in reality Bignum was just prepared.
True.
Purge just wants to see the core Wyvern. He just wants to see core Wyvern with a Bloodthorn, you know?
I mean, Palantimos has the Scotty timing here. That's very good against Mirana. The slow's going to be incredibly good. Very good against Wraith King, too. They can find initiation.
Okay, yeah, they found the initiation. It is V-Tune, though. They have to be careful. That feels almost a little bit slow the way that they turn back in. They'll get the Soulbind off, and Bignum goes down. All right, that is going to be the reincarnation. The jump forward here coming out from Iceberg and the call off over on the side. No. They're able to take down Palantimos. And can they get Ghostic? It feels like they should be able to. They have any leap charges left now. It's going to have to be the running old-fashioned ways. They're going to try to teleport out. They don't have the vision. Oh, the Splinter Blast? No. So close.
The arrow was huge. Morphling felt really confident in that fight, and that's one of the scary things when you go to initiate. Sometimes you just get hit by those arrows that weren't necessarily intended for you, and that arrow guarantees that Phantom's Embrace hits him. Then he doesn't get morph off, and the Manta actually kind of paying off here. It basically made Clockwork's initiation feel not good. The battery cell damage is being split. It makes it harder for Tiny to do an Avatos. A waveforms in to secure the kill, but the arrow is going to come in and nail him. And as a result, they get the follow-up with the silence, a lot of right-click, extra leap charges, another stun. He gets blown up, and Ravage tries to save him, but it's too late. So 12k gold advantage now, and they might find Tiny in the trees.
Close. The pings are out. The arrow? No, he is gone. But yeah, that last fight, very nicely done with the splitting up, too, the delay of that Ravage with the Axe jumping onto the back lines. And yeah, things are just looking really good for Na'Vi here.
Really is.
Pressure
Illusion
on
Rune on Mirana, too. Oh, they're going to need attacks. Okay. Makes sense. Let them cut the waves. These last a really long time. They're way better. I think it's like a minute or something for Illusion Rune. Oh, it looks like a little bit more, about minute 10. Like a minute 20, something like that. So you can cut waves really well with this. Even better than his Manta.
And look how confident V2 was in the bottom lane. He was just pushing that out all by himself. He will regroup with the rest of the team. And without the Ravage being online, I'm a little concerned here for Unique.
Yeah, I mean, again, they're not too worried about committing to a fight. And they're going to have some morph solutions late game. V2's item build, pretty weird looking. Like if you took us, this is like a perfect item build to be like, hey guys, what the item, who bought this item set? They might be able to figure out. The Midas Radiance is a little bit obvious, but like it's going to be a Manta Scotty. It looks like an illusion hero or something like that. So when he gets the Scotty, it's going to limit the healing of Morphling. So he's just going to fight Morphling. He's got net worth advantage over him. So it doesn't make me scared at all for Navi's late game chances having this advantage over Morph. So we need to win a fight on the Unique side. And he's going to build Satanic next on Morphling too. Scotty's going to shut that down a bit. So just all things looking great for Navi as the game continues.
The pressure is definitely on. 13k net worth lead at about 25 minutes in. Roshan is back up. So you can feel that that's definitely going to be the next objective as the boys start marching their way into the pit. And unfortunately for FN, he's just had a little difficulty this time around. It feels like whenever he's trying to go in for some of these plays, there's an immediate follow-up, or at least there's groups coming out from the side of Na'Vi.
Yeah, and he did get a couple of those crucial kills after having a rough laning stage, which is great, but since then, his kill options are basically Winter Wyvern and Grimstroke. Those are the only two heroes that are really vulnerable here. It's very likely that Mirana is able to protect herself in most cases. So yeah, he's just got to hit creeps for now and just continue farming, because it's not his ability to keep getting kills is just not going to be here this game, unfortunately. So that's going to really hurt his ability to win the game and feel like a really strong mid hero.
I mean, one nice thing is that you do have the Blink Dagger now for the Tidehunter, and you've also got a BKB pickup now for Tiny. So all that nuke damage coming out from Mirana not going to feel as bad as it did before. Got more options online.
And he doesn't have to worry about Grimstroke ulti or Ink Swells or things like that. That's the big thing. Now, a lot of times as you go in Tiny, you get counter-initiated on, you end up dying to overall main magic damage, but won't be this problem for now. Moonlight Shadow gets used, Navi's into position, and they're getting ready to fight at this tower.
V-Tune's just working away over here. They have to realize something's up. There's no way that V-Tune just shows up like this.
Yeah, of course. They'll sit on the cliff. They got that great cliff ward. A Roche is available, so this fight's going to determine a lot. If somebody wins it one-sided, that's Aegis, that's Shard. V-Tune goes for the D ward. He's so confident because he's so tanky here. Almost got his Scotty too. So Unique's going to have to cede high ground. They lost their vision. That allows Na'Vi to move in and see if they can start a fight. V2 knows he's so far ahead.
Look at Ramses is hunting. They can see Ghost Stick immediately blinking away. Ramses showing up. Look at Unique is just being sheepdogged way over here.
Yeah.
V2, come on, guys.
Not even that close to him. He's actually by himself.
V2's just, he's just literally all by himself here. He's like, all right, use everything on me. I'm going to come back up. I'm going to have that slow. That is the reincarnation. Ramsey's waiting carefully in position. The Ravage follows up. They need to get in there. There it is. There's Ramsey jumping in. He's got those spins. He's doing a decent amount of damage. His Spignum falls on the back lines. They go with the curse. They've already taken down V-Tune. So be a buyback now from the Clockwork. The Soulbind coming out. They're just trying to beat down here over on Mirana. She does have the BKB. So she is able to kite effectively as Ramsey's trying to get in position. Does manage to get the call. The spins come out. That's a dead Palantimos. As the side of Na'Vi, they still want more. The blink forward, the ink swell. Oh no, Bignum just fought back. He is dunked out of existence.
I mean, that could have been a lot worse for Team Unique. I mean, that was pretty crazy how deep B-Tune was. They do get the kill, though. It goes to Morphling. He gets 726 gold for that kill. But they will probably lose Roshan here, with Mirana's right-click being effective. I'm curious to see who gets the shard. Ooh, Ice Blast's going to slow it down, though.
It will indeed. We'll back off for a moment here. Ramses, he's still letting those illusions tank up. Got some nice vision placed over on the side of Na'Vi, though. Prepared.
Oh, the frozen spins.
It's happening.
I hope they get the shard to Mirana. That's what I want to see. Get that crit damage from the leap charges.
That does feel good. All right. Aegis on Iceberg, and we've got the shard on the Mirana, as you liked.
So 1 extra leap charge, that part's pretty cool. And then 1.5%, or basically 50% extra damage during leap duration, which is 2.5 seconds. So that's pretty cool. He doesn't have that much raw damage because he has a Mjolnir, which obviously is very likely the right item build. Mjolnir's great here. It's been buffed quite a bit. But I don't know, as he buys more items, once he goes like a Daedalus or more raw damage, it'll be a lot of damage. It's pretty cool.
We do have a Blink Dagger picked up recently for the Wintered Wyvern as well. So we will see some interesting position. They have so much mobility coming out from the side of Na'Vi, where I feel like Unique, you know, they've got this clockwork, right? He's had some nice hook shots, but the problem is, how do you bridge that gap quick enough with some of these other heroes?
It basically is like, you just need Ice Vortex, you need Tiny in range, and everything will be fine. In that last fight, when they went on the Wraith King after he respawned, one of the things that hurt them a lot was that while the Ice Blast landed, Tiny only had Toss available at the time. His Avalanche was still on cooldown for 4 seconds. And Avalanche gets doubled in damage while somebody is, or I'm sorry, 2.5 times in damage while somebody is tossed in the air. So because they didn't have Avalanche as well, they didn't kill the Wraith King quite as fast as they wanted.
Ramses couldn't even get the dunk off that time. The clockwork just melted so quickly.
Fun. He's got Pipe too. Pipe has made quite the comeback in the last couple of weeks, actually. People saw it as like a little bit too expensive, so people just kind of bought hoods, but a lot of offlaners have been buying Pipe lately. Clockwork on him, it doesn't quite work as well, just because usually you're the guy that jumps in right away and dies in a lot of cases, or gets so out of position that you die. Usually it functions better on offlane heroes like Tide, for example, but I would also say Solar Crest on Clock doesn't work so good. So this is a nice happy medium, but its net worth advantage is ridiculous right now.
2 lanes shoved in pretty nicely over on the side of Na'Vi, and Unique is struggling to get out of the base right now. They did manage to push out the bottom wave, which give them some more breathing space, but do have a Blink Dagger picked up now for Wraith King, and we already saw how confident V-Tune has been playing, the way he's just been diving into 5 heroes all by himself. This is just going to make that aggression even stronger, I have a feeling.
And the Titan Sliver too solved some of the magic damage problem that he was dealing with. Oh, there's
Ramses getting both of them immediately. The taunt, the Ice Blast comes out as well. Down will go Palantimos. Does have buyback, and they get the Winter's Curse off. Can they finish off FN fast enough? No, not going to be able to. Arrow sliding in. Not quite there, as Na'Vi going from 0 to 60 here in this top lane. We'll wait patiently for the next opportunity.
I really thought more people were going to die in that. That call was so good. Less tanky here than Tidehunter surely would have died with Morphling, and he did eventually get the Morph off, but just too much damage at that point. Great call there by Ramses. And now they'll start poking high ground. V-Tune's
right back here again. Pops that Manta. Ghostic trying to draw some of this attention away, but the fortification is going to come out from the side of Unique.
They can slow this down a bit. They have Shard on A, so all these creeps are taking damage, as are the heroes that are pushing. V-Tune gets Ice Blasted as well, so any damage dealt to him now is going to be pretty limiting. He doesn't want to get his ulti popped, but if he can get the tower, it looks like.
Looks like they will end up popping the ultimate. The leap forward, though, coming out from Iceberg. The follow-up here from Ramses. Bignum, he was trying. Ravage is going to get tossed out as well. But it looks like FN not looking too healthy here. He will indeed fall. Bignum being chased after by Ramses, and this Tidehunter still has that silence on him. Dunk comes out from Ramses. He'll clean up again on Bignum, and Navi's going a little bit deep here. They'll try to go get the taunt off here over onto the Ancient Apparition, but should be able to escape as they pop the Moonlight Shadow, and they went pretty far on that dive. Do they go back in?
Ice Blast?
The Ice Blast?
No, he's got too much HP.
He should
be fine.
V-Tune just running right back in again. He's healed up a bit. He's got Mirana. And they're just going to finish up this top lane.
And now it's even easier. They've got Blink Dagger on Wraith King. In case anybody steps up, they're going to jump in. If they get an arrow follow-up on this, really scary. Especially on these supports. A's got to be really careful here.
Continuing to throw out flares. Vortex, Ramses, though, sitting on the low ground, trying to wait for that perfect opportunity. They're smoked up, goes forward, doesn't quite manage to go and grab Palantimos this time around, but the arrow does connect. The hook shot, but over on the side, Palantimos, he's just erased. So they finally take down Ramses. Iceberg, that is going to be the Aegis. Big them over on the back line here. V-Tune's just too powerful when he's got the power of always want to fly behind him. And now Iceberg does need to get out of here in a jiffy. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. The Winter's Curse, though, dragging over. Can Iceberg survive? Can he get up any leaps? Does he have anything here? No, he will indeed fall. As the Soulbind is up over on the side here. But Na'Vi, they're just going to continue. Put some damage here. Stroke of Fate not quite connecting over onto Slayer. V2 really just wants to finish this up. Realizing there is no Morphling alive for this fight. Oh,
they got the melee racks.
No, the jump forward over here onto Roger. The gush. All right, they'll be able to take down Roger on his way out.
Oh, Witchblade didn't save him. Weird. Okay. Great.
Sassy Purge.
Glimmer Cape would have been nicer. It's okay. It's kind of a fun build, and I think they're confident, but ultimately, lots of buildings got taken. Net worth advantage continues. I mean, they got some kills back. That was really, really good for Unique considering, but their buildings are going to feel a little sad. They don't have as many of those as they used to, but a lot of big kills. The axe kill, Ramses didn't pop BKB after going in and making the mistake. He should have popped it, but the chainstone killed him. Mirana just ran out of leap charges, eventually got worked down after going a little aggressive, trying to kill the AA there. So basically just a little bit overextension from the Na'Vi side. They get punished, and it's going to delay the game a bit, but their net worth advantage is still so healthy right now. It's not a huge deal.
That, and you look at the net worth going over to the side of Na'Vi, all three of their cores sitting very, very tightly. Yeah, look at this. Ramsey's just a little bit short. The arrow does connect. And that's why Iceberg dove in so deep. He wanted that kill on Palantimos.
Oh, he got the Mirana kill. Okay, gotcha. Or the Morphling kill. I see.
He wanted it.
That was worth it. But then he respawns. He doesn't have BKB. Doesn't have leap charges. That was a dangerous place to be.
Ooh,
in the live game, there used to be a support there.
Yeah, always want to fly in a very dangerous place to be. Not sure if they smoked up for that, but does indeed fall here. So Grimstroke going to take a little time out. As Unique trying to reclaim their jungle. They do need to go home, though. There are creeps marching into their base.
Yeah, they will have to defend that, but they'll get their shrine back temporarily. Killing Grimstroke is a pretty big deal. It's a lot of the team fight lockdown annoyance stuff that that Na'Vi wants to do. It's a lot of follow-up as well. I mean, that's the best thing about Grimstroke in a lot of ways is that it turns any initiator that has a stun, which is a lot of heroes, into 2 stuns.
V-Tune's like, come back here, Slayer. And then just throw the Wraithfire Blast and then back off. Ice Blast is now down, though.
I'm dead voice line from Zai right there. That's what I would have pressed. Like, there's no way I live here. But luckily, the V-Tune just playing safe. He didn't want to get caught so far away from his team, going for just a support kill.
He's showing remarkable restraint this time, considering that dive in the mid lane, where it was just him and 5 heroes.
Hey, V-Tune is, okay, that time, all right, I was going to defend V-Tune for diving. That one time, yes, he dove crazy deep, but every other time it was his team, not him, that was overdiving.
That is true. That is true. A little bit of that overextension, but they're still sitting very pretty. 21K net worth lead at 36 minutes in. We still have the cheese online for the Mirana. And again, it just feels like, I feel like Na'Vi is really making Unique just respond to every single move that they're doing, and Unique has not been allowed to play their own game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with stuff like that. You can maybe argue that Unique could have done a better job trying to like invade, because it's not like Na'Vi did not play very fast, basically. They won their lanes convincingly. They won like almost all of their lanes. And then they just sat back and hit neutrals at a really high speed. Obviously, Axe killed his stacks a lot earlier than normal. I mean, that was like, he cleared the large camp, then he cleared the ancients and stacked it. And then the stacked ancient camp is what gave him his neutrals. That was just after the 7-minute mark. That was abnormally fast to have that many stacks cleared. And so once they like missed that timing, it felt like Unique was scared or unable to get pressure on the map. So maybe criticize them for that they didn't do enough there, but get enough kills in that period of the time. But I'm sure clock wasn't even 6 at that point, right? Like, it's difficult defined grabs otherwise until he gets 6 or until Tiny gets Blink. So that was maybe one of the issues of their lineup. It was just straight up not fast enough. They needed to be able to get a lot of good stuff done before 10 minutes, and they didn't do that to stabilize their lanes. So either win the lanes harder or have better heroes to rotate in that pre-10 minute mark to slow down what Na'Vi did this game.
This is nice here. Iceberg has found himself the ninja gear. He'll have even better positioning, better scouting capabilities. And of course the extra Agi's pretty nice too.
It is actually, yeah. They gave him a lot of armor he was missing, actually. Goes up to 20 now. The movement speed is nice too. Mirana's base movement speed is not excellent. It's one of the things that has to happen when you have leap charges, you know? So he'll be happy with that. Who gets the cooldown? Oh, I thought it was Roger. Sorry, it's on Ramses. Spell Prism on Axe. Lots of calls. Here they come.
V-Tune walking into Ghost to cure the blink forward, expecting to find someone else. Bignum. There's out the flare. Look at this positioning. The Ravage immediately. Can they blow up? No, the follow-up here from Ramses immediately holding into place. They're going to try to keep Iceberg alive over on the backline. FN, he's taking so much, but they've already taken that Iceberg and always want to fly falling as well. Over on the back lines here, Palantimos, he's just chunking away over here at V2, as Ramses is forced to run away and eventually indeed fall. So the cogs up here from Bignum. Palantimos waiting patiently. Will be able to take down V2's first life. He's coming back up again. Roger's still in position, doesn't have that Winter's Curse. Needs to put out a little bit more damage, and he's just trying to do anything he can to Palantimos here. Isn't able to even get the kill over on Bignum. It's getting to, oh no, Palantimos gets himself a double kill as he takes down V2, and he's looking for another kill.
What a fight for Unique. That ward on the high ground. Just Na'Vi way too confident in what they're going for. I do want everybody to know that Roger cleaned up the Tiny because he had Witchblade on the back line. That's all everybody needs to know. But other than that, amazing fight for Team Unique there. The Ravage was perfect. The target acquisition was excellent. They got the Mirana with the Ice Blast combo. They cogged him afterwards to delay the BKB from coming out. The Ravage, they had the Sentry on the high ground too. They called Axe, which actually wasn't that useful because he just BKB'd and spider-legged, ran away. The counter initiation didn't come out from Winter Wyvern either. He called Embrace to buy some time, but that was not quite what they needed, unfortunately. And then they just cleaned up Ramses afterwards. His survivability was just not quite enough. If Na'Vi doesn't start bursting down heroes, just looks like a bad place to fight for them.
I thought for sure Bignum was gonna tick down to that Radiance burn. Like, look how close he sits
that
there.
Was close.
Oh. But no, he's a lucky little clockwork. He's gonna survive it. But
he was actually a second away.
This is what I wanted to see from Unique, right? Because it feels like Na'Vi just keep jumping on them each time, and they have to react when they don't have that opportunity. When Unique can be the ones to jump in, it makes a huge amount of difference, like we just saw.
It does, yeah. They don't have super overwhelming damage. They've gone for a little bit of these funky items, and man, the net worth disadvantage is so much less now. That was a big deal. There's a Daedalus on Morphling. This gave them space to pick up tier 4 items on neutrals. That's something they didn't have in the last fight either. This is it's not like they can still win on the Na'Vi side, and they have great itemization still, but
makes it closer.
Looking a little scary. It does. I mean, there's a freaking Dragonlance on Winter Wyvern, for God's sake.
Yeah, Roger has decided that he would like to be the core this time around, and will be taking over the game. Please and thank you.
He gets raw HP from this, and the extra attack range is good and all, but yeah, he can sit farther back to contribute to fights, but it's pretty goofy, all right. Number one thing, Iceberg cannot get stunned through BKB, basically. It's a really big deal. He cannot get comboed as easily as he did in the last fight. Wraith King doesn't care about getting focused or bursted much. He's got a Ballista Blade now on Wraith King, so getting these pickoffs should be a lot easier. And this is one of the upsides towards Unique being ahead now, or at least much closer than they were. They're going to play on the map aggressively, and that's going to give them opportunities to get pickoffs. So while it might look a little scary for Na'Vi now, with Unique putting map pressure on the map, there's opportunities to get kills and pickoffs with his Abyssal Blade, with Axe Call into Arrow, with Witchblade ganks. There's lots of options.
All right, well, it looks like we're almost ready to start up the match again. Looks like
you see what AA picked up.
What did he pick up?
Just a casual Scythe of Ice.
Casual, nice.
On the AA.
Is he going to be able to be close? Like, I understand why you pick up this item, but with an Ancient Apparition, I feel like you don't want to be anywhere near any of these guys because you're just going to get blown up, right?
It's 800 cast range. It'll be fine. If he can, and that it's cool to have it on AA basically. I mean, it's kind of similar to Rod of Atos. It's like a common item that people would want to buy in A because you're like, oh, I'm guaranteeing my setup, right? Hex will be able to do the same thing. Hex the guy. It's either going to be Murano when he jumps in when he doesn't anticipate a BK, like the need to press BKB, and then you can land combo on Iceberg. You don't have to worry about Tide to go first, and they really do have kind of weak stun setup, right? Like Blink Ravage was the best one they had. It's either that or Hook Shot. That's how they initiate, or Tiny Combo, I suppose. But those are Tiny Combo is something a little bit. It's so high damage you don't necessarily want to always be the initiator unless it's a good target. So if Slayer just sits back a little bit and hexes Murana and they kill him again at the start of the fight, it's gonna be huge. And he can one-shot illusions. That's the other cool thing. Yeah, and he's gonna use it for that. One-shotting axe illusions as he split pushes.
Yeah, it's definitely value. These illusions feel very uncomfortable to have to deal with. So they're going to try to sweep through their own jungle, make sure that they can push out any invaders. The hook shot, though, immediately over onto the Murano, follow up with the Ravage. So always want to fly. We'll just get obliterated here. The Winter's Curse does get dropped by Roger, should be able to just teleport out.
Always want to fight, very possibly saving Murana's life there. When you force staff after a clock initiation, it makes the follow-up cog, stun, and push more difficult. Instead, he gets trapped inside the cogs instead of push backwards. He doesn't get stunned immediately afterwards, and they don't have an option to follow-up disable him. Oh, that's going to be a dead AA. He was dewarding. Iceberg was able to just land the arrow. I think he had ninja gear, that's why he
does have ninja gear, yes. Definitely does. The arrow tossed out here by Palantimos. Leap forward, though, just brushing the tail.
No? Okay. All right, 20 seconds left till...
That is the reveal of the Abyssal. The arrow, nope, they've got the BKB, but they have the bashes as Ramses goes in for the call, gets a couple of these spins, and dunks FN.
All right, there's the pick they needed. Now they're going. Time to go high ground. Take this advantage. There's a DD rune as well. Really good for Iceberg here.
Do a buyback on the Tiny if they want to bring him up, but they don't have the Ravage available.
Okay. 2 waveform charges on Palatimos now, so he can jump in and out. Waveform attacks targets as well. He is a big damage monster at the moment. Trying to push out these lanes still. It's going to buy them some time. V-Tune will go high ground with illusions.
Ramses opens up the battle hunger.
Tide Axe as well.
Still smoked up using that ninja gear. To get better positioning. They have to be so careful in the way that they want to move. Nice gush here. We'll be able to just clean up some of these creeps, but gee, they still want to go in. A couple arrows getting tossed. Just water being sloshed everywhere coming up from the side of Unique.
It's so much harder for them to high ground now. Like, this Tide Axe is incredible. Like, it does. He got the Tide. He got all the Gush bonus things. Bonus damage, 380 magic damage, and he has -4 Gush armor. So it's doing -11 armor. And he has Timeless Relic, so the duration lasts even longer. That's for 5 seconds instead of 4. That's a big disadvantage when you're trying to siege high ground slowly. So losing that fight, although Na'Vi is still gaining some net worth advantage, and are probably going to play for the next Roche, this is not how they expected this game to go. They thought that was going to be over like 10 minutes ago, but that one catastrophic fight where they were too confident, it's hurting them here.
Feels like they definitely need some sort of either they need an Aegis or they need a pick off on Ghost Stick, it sounds like, because he seems to be the primary form of pushing out these waves and causing them problems to go high ground.
It would help, certainly, yeah. They're definitely building towards like sieging, Navi's building towards sieging casually and safely with all the mantas, and they're also building for pickoffs, so that's what they need. Their casual sieging is basically over now because of this Tide Axe, so yeah, absolutely, that's what they need. They need to pick off heroes. That's the only way that they're going to be able to go high ground confidently right now. Or Aegis, I guess, so either delay the game or get a pick off.
That's the Aegis that gets reclaimed. And the double damage rune. Getting popped here by Iceberg. Not looking to engage, just gonna go and farm up. As I say that, they're looking to engage.
Dude, Ramses is so farmed. He's got 490 last hits on Axe. It is bonkers. He's got 2 sets of armor, BKB, Blink, Mantis. All right, let's see if they spot him. Ghost Stick pushing things out safely. They don't want to show. They don't want to give them the call arrow.
Palantimos will reveal himself over in that mid lane. Double damage rune's got a bit of duration left here on the Murano, but no one's home in the side of the Radiant jungle, so Na'Vi gonna just set up base camp for now as the smoke comes out from Unique. I think they know where they are. I'm guessing they're gonna try to hunt through, see what they can find. Yeah, they do have the ward, so they have vision. Bignum leading the charge. Is that a flare? The Shivas, the silence immediately being tossed out. They get the soulbind off. V2's left behind as Palantimos just chases down, always want to fly. Wants to get rid of Ramses, though, calling 3 over on the back line here with that BKB. We'll hold them in place a little bit longer. As there it is, the Ravage coming out from Ghostic. Finally, he's held onto it patiently. They're going to turn right back around again. They'll be able to take down Iceberg. Ramsey's another call here. V-Tune's coming up with the second life. There's the Winter's Curse coming out from Roger. They're going to try to chip down as much as they can. Over here on the side, they'll be able to take down FN. They're still hunting here. Palantimos, he wants his kill on Ramses, though. The Inkswell does land over onto 2. Arrows get tossed down. They don't quite connect. So they'll follow up. There it is. Can they take down Palantimos? They've got the taunt. That will be a dead Palantimos. They'll get Ghostic. And Na'Vi are just running down this bottom area. Slayer's gonna try to teleport out. He's gonna be able to do it just in the nick of time. They have the buyback.
Almost everybody bought back there. Morphling's still available, but holding some time. Doesn't quite work. They're going in.
Shot over onto the back lines here. The toss him into the air, plus the Ice Flash to be able to take down Iceberg. That Gush coming in over on the back lines. V2 is left alone. Ramses gets the call off over onto Bignum, but this Wraith King, he's all alone. He's hexed up. He needs his team. He needs help. He's gonna try to fight through, try to get some of this life left. He's not gonna be able to do it. V2 will fall.
Okay. Dieback on Mirana. Wraith King dying for the first time, still has his buyback available. Great fight for Unique. They make it work. And this is the scary thing. Their opponents went conventional item builds. Wraith King is falling off here because he bought Manta and Scotty. So a little scary for Na'Vi. Roche is could respawn in 13 seconds. We'll see when it's up. Here's that initiation.
It's a good play here coming out from Bignum, just being able to initiate and then separate them. Because it leaves V2, now he's all alone. He doesn't have any help.
And they had enough heroes to actually burst him down. Really well done. Yeah, that separation is so important on Clockwork. Absolutely worth his death there. Really nice he had Axe too. Gave him the double initiation. Right, level 25 for Axe now. Still trying to split push things, but Unique crossed the map here. A lot of dead heroes, and they know that Wraith King's not going to want to buy back, but they love to force him. But in the same period, Ramsey's done a great job split pushing out bottom and mid. He cuts the creep wave, so that'll slow things down. No buyback needed from Wraith King, but this does give Unique a nice moment to get some net worth. Roche is going to be respawning a long ways from now, though, so that will not be the impact just yet.
Did I see? Are we getting a BKB delivered here to Mr. Palantimos? Yes, we are.
Yep.
Be
buyback for him.
More difficult. Look at this. Look at this. He's got himself a BKB. He's got a Satanic, and then he's got a Minotaur horn on top of everything else.
Yeah, he's hard to kill now. His right click damage is way better than what Wraith King can output at this point in the game. Yeah, he just picked up a magic resistance talent at 10 as well. That's actually going to help a lot. Outside of his BKB, magic damage is going to do significantly less. The lanes get pushed out safely. This Vortex plus Gush combo is so good. So safe.
I believe a Refresher Orb was also picked up for the Tide Hunter as well.
He's got it. Okay.
They're looking
hit that
for
queued
a
up
play.
earlier.
Bignum, of course, leading the hunt. Go for the Moonlight Shadow.
Axe briefly, I think.
Yep. Pops the smoke. Bignum has to be a little careful here. V2 jumping in immediately. Ice Blast getting tossed over to the side, though. They go in. They have that first Ravage. They have the detection. They see Roger over here. Palantimos just wants to get rid of Roger. It is going to be held in place, though, with that Soulbind. They'll be able to take down Roger. Double Silence coming out. B-Tune, he's got the double Abyssal. Can they get out enough damage, though? Is the question. As Ramsey's going for the call over here on the side, and there it is. There's the second Ravage. And coming right back out again. So they'll take down Ramses. And up comes V-Tune. Always want to fly, running for his life. There's just no one here to save Ramses. He's just... V-Tune's dead. The hop forward here again. And it looks like Iceberg just gets cleaned up. Roger can only do as much as he can here. Might be able to take him. Oh, he does. The Winter's Curse from Roger. Able to take down FN. Oh, he's going to pay for that if he's not careful. He's got the blink, though. Wave forming again forward. This has got to be a dead Roger. Eventually.
Yeah, there's no solution here. He does not have a defensive item, and... he buys out a little bit. He had buyback used anyways, so he'll have eggs up soon. But so basically everybody just died. And this is actually a really interesting situation because both teams had bought back in the previous fight heavily. Palantimos is going to be able to take Roche by himself, but basically what's going to happen is everyone's going to respawn. They're going to probably all wait a little bit until their buybacks come back. So we're just going to have like a full reset, most likely. And now the net worth is even. Game still looks amazing for Unique, though. Especially if you can contest. Oh,
the courier ink slow. Oh man, always want to fly. He's trying everything here. They're just going to send over
look at all the couriers. Look at these vultures coming in.
They're just going to click everywhere. They're hoping. Okay, yeah, that's going to be the courier down.
Trying to take things.
Here.
Look at them all.
They want it. What is this
Get
game?
your own Roche.
Oh my god.
You don't deserve this.
All right, always want to fly is dead.
This is so funny.
Because they don't get vision anymore. They're just clicking everywhere. They're like, okay, is the Roche dead? Is it dead yet?
Well, they're gonna get so much gold from these couriers.
Here we go. They're just clicking all over the ground. Nope, not yet. There's no items yet. This is so ridiculous. How many couriers are we gonna lose during this? All right. Oh, can I steal anything? Nothing.
No, okay.
Nothing.
I haven't seen that game. The fact that it was just one hero, basically, and like 4 couriers swarming around him was excellent. All right, Age gets picked up. Ag's Blessing. Who does that go to? AA, I guess. Who else needs one? Tiny doesn't have one yet. It could be Tiny.
True. Oh, while this is going on, though, there is some damage going down in the base.
Oh, the AoE Cold Feet. That's a good talent on AA here. Here's the start of that fight again. I thought it was going to go really bad for Unique. Clock got separated. The Ravage felt bad. Just started them off on the Winter Wyvern, which is okay, but not incredible. And then the great sounds from Always Want to Fly after the refresher here was so good. Delays the second Ravage. They jump in. V-Tune trying to get DPS in. Ramses tries to get a kill on Morphling, but he's really tanky here. And then that Gush just cleaned up everybody. So, and from there, yeah, it was just... we're basically seeing the effects of Wraith King's itemization. His itemization was built to hit this really good timing, to make Morphling limited, to make pushing easier, to make sieging easier. But because they lost that fight with their big net worth advantage, now going high ground, and Tide got that Ags, it just made going high ground so much harder. And now Wraith King's like really wishing he had different items. Not that, but I mean, ultimately the mistake was that they had a bad team fight. But you know, he'd really love to have more conventional items right now so that he could pick off some of these other heroes a little bit easier.
I feel like they're having some damage issues on the side of Na'Vi. I mean, Iceberg, he's got damage too, but like he's just immediately shredded in these fights, especially if he gets initiated on, because Bignum, that's what he's been looking for during the entire time. He's like, okay, I just need to hook shot onto the Mirana. I know my Tiny will back me up. We'll get her out of the fight. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's 4v5. And they got some big tanky bruisers over on the side of Unique now.
It's hard. And this is likely why Roger built the itemization he did, because they knew that they were going to have some some damage issues. So he built to have more right click. But yeah, they just lost too many fights here. Percentage-based damage is good against Morphling. He's going to still have that, especially with Ags now. He's always going to have it, but it's still only doing 9% of current. And Morphling with Satanic is not going to have to worry about that damage too much. So, no Spirit Vessel, and he's got all these like magic immunities anyways. 2 cheeses past the Clockwork. Sell that, man. Just don't tell anybody. Like, oh yeah, I used him in the fight. Where'd you get that Daedalus, Clockwork? Oh, I don't know. I just found
in the woods, you know? I've been doing some good stuff here. I don't know, man. The way that Bignum has been playing, though, like, it's just so value having all that extra regen on him. Bottom lane. Casual Ice Blast, just trying to get rid of some of these axe solutions. Do you have an Overwhelming Blink picked up now for Ramses?
Okay. That's a good one. Not built very often. Like, it's pretty rare that you get late in the game like this where somebody justifies buying it. Almost every hero that buys those Blink upgrades is always carries, because they want their right clickers and their item slot limited. But Ramsey's been farming like a carry all game. His last hits are insane. He's got the most in the game, 596. So hell, buy it. It's worth it. It does slow attack speed and movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. That's a really long time. Obviously, people are going to have BKBs that'll remove it or prevent it from affecting him, but it's a great way to nuke as well.
Ramsey's hiding on the side. Knows that Slayer's here.
That push is like insane now. AoE Cold Feet with the Ice Vortex damage. It's so good. And they just can't see where AA is. The cast range is so long on these abilities that you just don't get to know where your opponents are split pushing from. And with Blink and Aeon Disc, perfect items on AA. so far. So just got to keep lanes pushed out. That's the only good thing going for Na'Vi right now. They've already got 2 sets of racks, so they don't have to put as much effort into split pushing these side lanes, but Unique is collapsing the bot lane, and this is the one that matters, at least a little bit. If they can offset their rack's disadvantage here, it'll make it easier for them to have space on the map. They still got Aegis, so, I mean, we'll see what Na'Vi can do to slow this down, but I'm not super confident right now.
They're just trying to mirror a little bit. They've got that Axe Illusion just pushing through on these lanes. An Iceberg is standing nearby. And Unique is grouped up pretty tightly here as they're sweeping through. They do have to go and consider these lanes. Use a Rocket Flare to try to help push it.
Seems Unique is a little scared to go high ground as well without backup.
Passes off the Minotaur Horn. What do we have on Palantino's? He's got the spider legs. A little bit more mobility.
Well, it's all about basically not having to use a slot for boots anymore, which makes sense. Very common for carries in the ultra late game to do this. It's like, oh, now I can actually be 6-slotted without the detriment of not having movement speed. So it's worth it over... You're basically trading a neutral item for a regular item. And when you have infinite gold, basically, absolutely worth it.
Oh, no.
That was a big snipe, actually. He bought out for that, by the way. He's 600 gold from buyback. Pretty greedy, I guess, to run it straight there, because their opponents did have vision or control that map.
Okay, overwhelming blink, the jump forward. They're waiting patiently, and they want this kill. The Ravage comes out, but they still manage to take down Ghostic. Down for 90-something seconds, no buyback. The patience of Na'Vi has paid off, but again, they ended up losing that Ag's Blessing for the Wraith King.
So I think Berserker's Call is not dispellable. Yeah, it can't be dispelled. So that's that nice counter against the Tide here in this late game. Any other Chainstone wasn't going to work. Kraken Shell would proc it, but because Axe Call is different, it's like forcing them to attack you. It cannot be removed by Kraken Shell, so they're able to disable for that full duration. They pick off the kill with some nice damage from Iceberg as well. I'd use BKB, but it's already a 6 anyways. No loss at all. Iceberg's got an item decision to make soon. He's got, just casual 7,000 gold here. Game's getting good, guys. We're definitely getting tier 5 items. Seen some sick late game stuff. Everybody's got a lot of items.
And what do you think? What do you think we're gonna see?
On Mirana, he's going Satanic. It looks like boring.
Oh my God! This is no.
This
is it. This is it. All right, Roger. He's gonna get that ballista. It's gonna be the true carry in this game. They're just never gonna be able to get close enough to him. Make it happen.
I don't see that they don't give ballista to Mirana though.
Boo! Boring.
I know.
Boring.
But she attacks really fast anyway, so it'd be really sick on her.
They have the vision. Get the call off. Star Storm, and that's a dead Clockwork. There's a gem left over here on the ground. I'll pick that up. Ramses will be happy to take that off your hands.
Backpacks to Shivas. All right, they get some pickoffs, and that's something that Na'Vi is definitely strong at. They still have good hero pickoffs. You get them.
Ooh,
and now they get map control again.
They know exactly where the Mirana is. This gang squad, though, really coming in handy. Iceberg perhaps staying just a little bit too long. He does get hexed up. They've got the Glimmer. Gonna stand over to the side. Looks like he's gonna escape. Always want to fly using the Soulbind out. Nice arrow will hold them in place a little bit longer. And they're just allowed to... They go back in! Witcher's Curse immediately over on the side. And look at this FN. He can't fight these illusions. The call here from Ramses. Needs to get a couple of these spins. Can they finish off Ghost Stick in time? Leap forward here coming up from Iceberg. They do have the vision. As they'll be able to take down Ghost Stick. They take down Ramses, though. They get the arrow off. They'll take down Always Want to Fly. Valentimos should be able to walk away now from this engagement.
Okay, pretty even still. Decent fight back and forth. Net worth is evened up now with these last couple of kills that Na'Vi's been able to pick up. The Dark Portrait was actually such a headache there for Tiny. They just made Dark Portrait against Morphling is like one of the best things in the game because you are getting all of his base damage and it's multiplied by a factor of 50% extra. So it's literally stronger than Morphling is. And it just bullied on Tiny, beat him down to like 40% health. Also spell immune, by the way, so you have to kill it with physical damage. And by the way, because it has, 244 agility, it has a lot of armor. And I don't even, does it even take bonus damage? It does. It does take extra damage, but still, it's a lot to deal with. That buys them time. That scouts out Roshan. It's going to respawn at a relatively early time. 1/3 of the possible respawn time. And this is going to give Wraith King his Ags finally, too. It's a chase. Here it comes. There's the right click. Has to cheese. Should have sold it, Bignum. Definitely better than being alive.
Oh, he's got a little
they're
snack
about-
later.
Courier drive-by. Clockwork's gonna lose it though. Iceberg spots it and
Ooh, get
leaps and
those
chases it down.
items.
It's fine. It was just an Aeon disc. Clockwork would love to have it, I'm sure, but.
No. I'm talking about the neutral items, baby.
Oh, yes. To the Ancients. All right, Raytheon's going to
Give
get
me
one
them
here, I'm
items.
sure.
There's the axe, finished up now.
Oh, he's not walking near Ancients. That means he's not going to spawn the items now. Guess he's worried about getting caught.
That's fair.
As long as they kill them, their opponents can't get him right now. Somebody kill the damn Ancients. There we go.
Stygian? Okay.
Ooh, that's good. That's
else we
very
got?
good. That's going to
Force
help
boots.
him out.
It's all right. It's all right.
So, well, yeah, give Force Boots to Raytheon. No, he doesn't.
Ballista.
Oh,
There we go, baby. Let's see it. Put it on
Who
the
gets it?
Wyvern.
Put it on Mirana. But Mirana's got Desolate. Okay, Mirana is going to keep the Ballista, it looks like. That's okay. Winter Wyvern will use the Desolator.
Fine.
Maybe.
Let Roger have
So-
his fun, man. That
actually-
range with the Arctic Burn?
Okay.
Like,
All right, they changed their mind again. Desolator on Wraith King,
okay.
because it'll help him be a more conventional carry. 60 damage, minus 10 armor when you're attacking. That'll help. He's still damage limited, but it'll be fine. And then they put Force Boots on Axe, which is kind of weird because he's already got Boots of Travel level 2,
Yar, matey.
which I guess he can sell now. He's so rich. He's 10,000 gold.
Yo, look at, we got the pirate hat on Winter Wyvern.
Oh, dude.
Let's do it. I'm down. I'm not even mad that he doesn't have the, oh, all right. We're switching them back and forth and around all over the place here.
That makes sense. I was going to say. Backpack that ninja gear. Dig those. Oh, he's got the Ballista. They did it.
They did it. Yes.
This actually is better for sure. Mirana doesn't really need the attack range that badly because she's got leaps, but 150 attack speed on Mirana is really good because she does good damage. So like, this just makes way more sense. All right, anything for the Radiant side yet? All right, Ancients are just spawning now. I think they cleared them before.
Yeah, they
All right,
sent
here we
over
go.
the
Let's see
Wraith
what they
King.
get.
They have a Fallen Sky. They got that earlier. It's Force
Force
Boots.
Boots. Why not give that to Morphling though?
Ramses, they're hunting. The arrow not connected. The force. Oh my god, immediately there it is. Ramses, the jump forward. They have the damage.
my
They just
God.
take out Ghosty. It goes so quickly here. Altima's just
That was
nudged back. And the rush is
Bonkers
up.
quick.
Those
The
Force
call.
Boots, man. That was
Call
great.
against Tide is just so good. All right, they're getting some more items now. Tiny picks up a pirate hat.
They got the Nelly online too for the axe. Yeah, into the pit for Navi. With that Tide Hunter being dead. He does not have buyback either, Purge.
Yeah, this has been hurting him a bit here. He bought out that Aeon disc, but I think he bought Aeon disc to try to solve the solution against the call. But the problem is that it just doesn't work. Free Ags for somebody who's going to get it. Looks like Axe, I guess. It's not bad on Mirana either, but I guess it's kind of underwhelming compared to what Axis does right now. God, I love theory crafting. Having a great time right now. Happy we're watching this beautiful game. All right. So basically they can buy whatever they want. Ramsey's been in this situation many times, and not necessarily as an offlane hero. But yeah, he's very farmed. Everyone is very farmed. And they defend.
Look at the swagger over here on V2. Like the rest of the team, you know, they're fairly nearby, but they're still a bit spread out. And he's just like, yeah, no problem.
Morphling has so much money. He's got 6,000 gold. He just
Smoked up.
can't really spend.
V2 just pulling out the Wraith Fire Blast here. Rest of the team waiting very patiently from behind. Palatine must just shoot. Get off my lawn.
All they need to do is kill this last barracks and then win a team fight convincingly. That's it. Like
Make it
Mega
sound
Creeps
so
actually
easy.
doesn't even matter.
Oh,
that
the
much
Winter's
right now.
Curse coming out from Roger. He's trying to get into position, into the arrow. Do they dare go close enough, though? They have to be so careful because Ghostic has several ravages. That Ice Blast and Vortex. Very, very spooky.
I mean, it was nice, but yeah, not the biggest.
It's all right, I'll be back up soon, I'm sure.
Twill. Big Clockwork. Big. Anyone else? Anyone else? Not. Oh, two non-diggers. Two people not digging in this game right now. There we go. Big Num Doug finally. Iceberg, please.
You're triggering Purge. Please, Iceberg. Not like this.
Seer Stone. That's pretty decent. I don't think A will be unhappy about that one.
No. They also completed himself a refresher, too. Everybody's just loaded right now.
His Hex range is going to be
full.
huge now.
These Axe Illusions aren't doing quite as much as they used to.
They are not. Not for lack of items. It's all going to come down to getting pickoffs here, basically. That's going to be the big one. Refresher Shard is on Wyvern. I think who else has one? Do they still have? No, A has used his, but he does have a Refresher Orb instead. Just normal stuff, you know?
All right. They're smoked up on the side of Unique. They're looking for some wrapping action, possibly. You have to be careful, though. They do have these Axe Illusions.
Now. More sentries.
Creeping over.
A in
Ramses
trouble.
immediately. Smoke pops. Jump forward from B-Tune. Be able to quite get his hands over onto FN as he is hexed up immediately. The toss here, trying to save Slayer. They get right back into their base.
He put sentries down so he didn't have boots. That's why he tossed him like 200 units. He's like, you really need this right now, dude. Morphling, not gonna get gone on.
It's a nice arrow. Does he do anything beyond that, though? Both teams just so hesitant.
Yeah.
Do you have the had the portrait of the Morphling for a moment there? Another arrow. It's constantly trying to get vision, trying to get information here on the side of Na'Vi to get into the base. But Unique's making it very difficult for them to find that proper initiation.
Yeah, it's hard. They're a little bit scared. They don't want to get caught. I mean, the Axe Call is actually such an amazing solution here, honestly. The fact that it goes through Tide Kraken Shell just means that they have gank options, and you know, if they get crazier, they can even buy something like a Refresher Orb. That's what we used to see that back in the day, actually, with Axe. When Berserker's Call and Axe hit this really, I think that was maybe like DAC or something like that. They just call twice in a row, and it's like, how do you stop 6 seconds of disable that goes through magic immunity?
Our observer has also triggered the fact that we are not seeing that pirate hat get used. Get that booty.
Almost needs to be buffed. Maybe it needs like flash.
I'll think about that. No. Oh, there we go. There we go.
150 gold each. That's pretty good. Let's see. Grimstroke moving out on... I'm sorry, that's a Dire Hero. Excuse me. All right, the turtling continues. Not much changed. Morphling has buttloads of money. He doesn't have a Moon Shard yet. He hasn't eaten an Nags yet either. But he may be saving his abundance of gold for a moment where he could buy back 7 minutes later, kind of a thing, buy back again. But, I mean, ultimately, it's going to take Na'Vi going high ground. But the tough thing is that, like, realistically, like, net worth is starting not to matter anymore. Like, for the supports, it's kind of nice. But realistically, Axe has to keep pushing out these lanes with illusions. Everything has to keep pushing out these lanes. So the net worth is not going to go to the supports.
Oh, Ramsey's a little bit off the mark. Does manage to find FN. He's got the BKB, but they follow up. Can they blow him up in time? Big ol' Ice Blast coming in. The arrow. Oh, but they get soulbound, leashed up together as Iceberg tries to jump at the back line. Ghostic following up with a Ravage as they'll get a nice Winter's Curse off. Look at this damage. It pops the Aeon Disc on both of these heroes. As you see Clockwork on the back line, but the Nullifier coming in. They're just pushing away the Tiger. Ghostic will go down. He does have buyback. The leap forward. They'll tail Palantimos as well. And these cogs with the jump in from Ramses. You can't protect yourself with those. Buyback now from the Clockwork. This Dark Portrait just chasing down poor Slayer. Procs his Aeon Disc. He's just pushing everybody away right now as V-Team's just smacking off here on the side.
Got vision of the area. Iceberg tried to dig and he got interrupted by Cold Feet. Probably the biggest thing that happened in that fight.
The buybacks are coming out in mass now for the side of Unique. That arrow does connect off to the side. Another Ice Blast tossed out. Ramses and Iceberg will eat it to the face. Ooh, with a sidestep away from the Clockwork Hookshot there.
That was kind of cool, actually. The gem that was still on the ground there, I believe, gave vision, which was why they went for that Ice Blast and Hookshot combo. But perfect fight for Na'Vi. They got no buybacks wasted on their side. The enemy team did. They just got to win one more fight and it's over. If they kill Morphling, if they kill Tide, be it.
All right. Let's gush, though. Just keep sending in the illusions, boys. They do have some nice solutions here coming up from the side of Unique to push them off. Look at V2. He creeps forward a little bit. All right, boys. All right, boys, get in there. Serve your king. Lots of trees getting tossed out. Other arrows tossing in. sidestepping
Dark
around.
Portrait.
They've got the Dark Portrait, though. Look at this. This illusion game is actually so ridiculous here. They do throw out the Avalanche. They'll get the Hex off as well. Can they burst down? No, not quite. Ice Blast, though, coming in. Be able to take down the first life, but
stun on Tiny.
FN, he went a little bit too far. Ramsey's jumping onto the back lines, and Palatimus, though, he's just trying to burst down over on the side. He's not going to be able to quite do it. The BKB coming out. Iceberg needs to be careful. He can't afford to take all this damage. He's just obliterated here. They have that Wraith. The King Ags as V2, and he's got the stuns up. Can they take down Palatimus? Yes, they can. That is a dead Morphling, and they're looking to chase after Ghost Stick now. Get this kill and go Roger on the back lines. Nullifier comes out. That's a dead Ghost Stick, and FN is just trying to run away. He's getting nudged away here by the Winter Wyvern. Roger, he wants this kill. Just gonna chase him right into there. And eventually, though, FN will survive. The GGs get called.
All right.